Hey there everyone, Aaron Spalsbury here at 3X Logic. Today I'm excited to show you a new feature that we've just added to the dealer portal for Vigil Cloud that allows you to modify either one or many of the InterACT series of cameras and what analytic event and what triggered actions we have. For instance, I'll give you a use case. Let's say your customer wants you to turn off the lights, perhaps turn down the volume, or even change the message that you have on one of these cameras or even multiples of these cameras and be able to deploy them either as a one-to-one relationship or a one-to-many. Perhaps you want to change a whole bunch of them all on one building or multiple buildings. And that's exactly what this new feature does. So let me walk you through this. So you can see I've logged in here to the dealer portal. I'm just simply here on my dashboard. I'm going to go ahead and come over to customer management. Now here are all of my customers that I have listed. And in fact, I'll click on 3X here and you can see all of the locations that I have here under 3X. Now, I want to modify all of the analytics or even some of these that are on here. And even across all of these locations, however many triggered actions that I have, they will actually show up here under triggered actions off to the right. So once I go ahead and click on it, you can see that I've actually got 3 different analytic events that are currently running. And we'll just walk you through how to add a brand new one here in a moment. For now, let's go ahead and edit one of the ones that's inside of here. Now off to the right, you do have the 3 little ellipsis button. When you click on it, you're going to see some kind of interesting information in terms of edit, disable, delete, or even the rule deployment details. But the nice thing is if you did want to just simply turn one of these rules off, you could just come in here and disable it or even delete it and start all over. But all of that's right here. I'm going to go ahead and jump into edit. This is a nice little walkthrough. It literally walks you through every step of the process. Now, if I wanted to come in here and change the name on any of this, obviously I could change that triggered action name, but now I just simply want to hit next. What do I want the event source to be? Well, I do want this to come from our VCA analytic event, so I'm going to leave that as is. And what do I want to filter this by? These filters just simply make it appear as to what ones you're wanting to modify. I want to see ones that are audio, or do I want to see ones that are LED? You can actually come in here and just simply filter all of these down below with these 2 actions that you have up here at the top. If you wanted to come in here and look for one that you've named perhaps directional, you can come in here and start typing this in. And obviously once you start to type in whatever it is you're looking for, it's just simply going to filter it out below. But that's all these 2 do. These just simply filter the analytics. That way, if you have, let's say, 100 of these and you're only looking for loitering, you could just start typing the word loitering and it would filter all of the ones down here below for you. Now you're going to see that I've got 3XHQ, lobby, and all of these are kind of broken out in a nice little flow chart here. And in fact, even if I scroll down, I can see InterACT, my count 1, so on and so forth. If I wanted to modify every single rule in here, I would come up here and hit 3XHQ. That's going to modify the lobby camera that's running 2 analytics, directional and count 1, as well as my InterACT with my loitering dwell. Well, in this case, I want all of these to work, but I don't want it to trigger when we're counting, so I can turn any of these on or off. Pretty straightforward, but kind of nice to have a walkthrough on it. Once you have that done, go ahead and hit next. Do we have a schedule applied to this particular analytic event? Now inside of here, if you have schedules applied to the camera, you'll have a drop down with all of your schedules that you can choose from in here, or you can even come up here and just simply turn it off with the toggle here. Anytime you want to see what this does, of course, you can always just hover over the information button and it gives you a little more info as to what's going on here. If I scroll down, you're going to see the audio messages that I have on the camera. What do I want this camera to say now? Well, I want this one to say, this is your second warning. So I'll go ahead and change that over to it. And I can even come down here and modify the volume. If you are using our larger InterACT series of cameras, keep in mind that all the way up to volume level 15 is 104 decibels. It's pretty darn loud. So you want to make sure that you're setting your volume level for the appropriate environment. Down below this, you've got a couple of other things you can turn on. Do I want this to be continuous? Do I want it to have a delay? Do I want it to repeat a certain number of times? Obviously, you can modify all of that right here on this screen, as well as do I want the lights just simply on or off? what action do I want it to be. And in fact, if I were to come in here and say, hey, you know what, I want this not to strobe, I want it to be a solid, let's say, green light that happens when someone's standing in that area. Really handy for things like if you're trying to get someone to pull through a particular area, give them a green light versus a red light, that sort of a thing, or just simply flash the red and blues at them and play the siren sound. Whatever action you want, you can program that in here. Then just simply hit next. We'll give you a warning here and just simply tell you that all device rules that you've selected will be applied to them. Okay, this will affect the time of day they run. Of course, pretty straightforward, but it's always good to know that, hey, I am applying a schedule to both of these cameras at the same time. So just kind of gives you a little warning there. Then just simply come down here and hit save. I have now changed this. You'll see a status over here off to the right. It is deploying the new rule onto that camera. Here in a little bit, that'll switch over to active once it's completed its cycle. And now you've modified that one event, even if you were to come in here and do that across multiple cameras, which you saw on there, we were able to toggle back and forth between those. Let's say, for instance, I want to add a new one. I'm going to come up here and hit Add Triggered Actions. You do have to give it a name, so I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to call this Aaron's Test for today. And then we'll go ahead and hit Next on it. And what do I want this particular camera to do? Well, where do we want that event to come from? What is its source? Well, I want this to be that analytic event. I don't have any filter on here. I'm not going to look for any filters. I want to see all of my cameras that I have listed out down here. So I can come down here and expand these out or shrink them down if I want to affect all of them or whatever the case may be. Well, in this case, I do want it to be in my lobby as well as my counting line that I have set up. That's what I want this analytic to essentially trigger. Once I have that, go ahead and hit Next. Do I want this to be on a schedule? Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and turn this on a schedule. I'll say Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I want it to trigger an audio function. I'm going to say this is private property. Please leave the area. The first event, I want it to be kind of quiet, so I'll turn the volume down just a little bit. I do want this to play continuously if they are in the area, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. One small word of caution, the delay here. Make sure that your delay duration is longer than the message that you're playing. If you have, let's say, for instance, a 10-second message, but your delay is every 5 seconds, you could have an overlap in your message. So make sure that your delay is extended beyond what the message is. This timer does start at the beginning of the message. If you have a 10-second message and your delay is set to 5 seconds, it's going to get halfway through your message and start over. It does start from the beginning of that trigger, if you will. Now, let's say I also want to turn on some lights in here. I want this to strobe, and the default for strobing is going to be red and blue. Doesn't matter what I select down here. If you have it set to strobe, it's going to default back and forth. But you can come in here and say, you know what, I want to strobe this as the red and blues, or do I want it to strobe as just simply blinking green? You can set it up either way. I'll go ahead and hit Next on this, and it will tell me the same message we had before. This is going to change your schedule, and then of course I'm going to come down here and hit Create. So now this is being deployed. You'll see the one we modified obviously is active now, and this is now being deployed across that camera, or even if I were to select multiples, all at one time. So it really gives us a neat way of being able to modify all of the actions that are happening either on one or many cameras across either single or multiple locations for all of our customers. So this is a really nice function that we have inside the software. But guys, I wanted to give you just kind of a quick little walkthrough on this, let you guys take a look at it inside of your own dealer portal. But hey, if you do enjoy these videos, don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon, that way you'll be notified of new videos that come out. We do try to post these rather frequently. But guys, thank you for watching today. We sure do appreciate you, and we will see you on the next video.